So about to be a granddad, huh?
Yes, in the week.
That's exciting. How cool. How
Yeah,
cool. Mama, baby, everybody's
everyone's doing good. Just kind of waiting the next. It's just a week away, so everybody's excited.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. So exciting. So how are things, man? I know excitement on the personal side of things, but how's real estate?
It's going good. I think I think everything is kind of up in the air with everywhere. People are like, is it good, bad? What's interest rates, government? I just think it's a very interesting time in real estate. I think people are waiting for some good news to happen.
Yeah. What are the conversations the agents are coming to you? What questions do they have? What are they curious about right now?
I think people are just kind of like just on hold, just waiting to see what happens. I think it's kind of, people, but I mean, the market's going great. Great things are happening. People are still buying and selling, but people are just, a year ago we had people were like, "Well, I'm going to do something after an election." Now it's like, hey, what's going on with, but I mean, you've been there a long time. If it's not one thing, it's another thing. And I
Yeah.
think it's, you just weather the storm and keep on going.
With you having, such a younger team, not only in age, but also seasoned in the business, right? Not being able to ride through, the markets that you and I've seen.
Right.
How do you, navigate them, keep them between the rails, to where, they don't let the uncertainty or possible fear start to creep in? How are you still driving that leadership and that mantra with such a large organization?
Yeah. I think, I mean, that's a good question, John. I think that the thing that I have learned, man, you just gotta stay positive. People still buy homes. You know, if you talk negative or doom and gloom, people catch. Your agents start feeling that. I think you just got to be like, man, it's if it's not one thing, it's another thing. And I just think that I think if you make a big deal about it, I think it's going to affect your business. But if you go, man, this is just a part of owning a business, doing a business, it's just, I mean, it's everywhere. Like in sports,
Yeah.
teams would do really well a couple years and then have hard times. I think in real estate, you can't like let it take you down. I mean, like I got into real estate in 2009 when it was really bad, but man,
Yeah.
if you just push on through, and I think that's the thing that we're constantly encouraging our agents. Hey, it's up to you, because some people are killing it,
Right.
so you just got to keep on going.
How do you, because coming in '09, seeing that side of the market, and then you get agents and they get into conversations about real estate with buyers and sellers. How do you, help them navigate that terrain to where they don't hang on with somebody longer than they should that's going to stay on the sidelines, right? That's what we were kind of talking about before we hit live.
Right.
That you got people that are making an excuse. Hey, we'll wait till after the election. Hey, we're going to wait to see what happens here. Hey, we're going to wait for more inventory to come on. Hey, we're going to wait for this. And it's easy that, and we've all been guilty of it, right? We start to get a little bit of a bond, a little bit of a relationship, and a bit of conversation. And I feel, I mean, because you are exactly what you said, driving, the optimistic side, but with a mixture of reality. And sometimes we have that internal optimist of us that we're going to find them a deal. We need to hang on to it instead of, hey, you're just not quite ready. Let's sit on the shelf. Let's revisit in 90 days and allow them to move on to navigate and find the opportunity, find the money in today's market. How do you help them navigate that?
I, I'll be honest. I think we almost buy for the wrong reason. I mean, people buy now, and they buy it. 6 months later, they want to know if they sold their home that it's gone up 20%. I really think that we have lost focus of why we buy a home. I think you buy a home because one, you need a place for you or you and your family to live. And I think that, I mean, I bought my, house in '88. I bought it because my wife and I needed a place to live. It was either rent or buy. And then we bought it in 88, and here it is now 2025, and we still live in the same house.
Yeah.
It's to me, I think we lose focus of why we buy.
Why do you think that is?
I just think it's how society is thinking, hey, we look at it as an investment.
Yeah.
I bought my home for 70,000. I would have never, it's worth 900,000 or a million. I would have never thought back, 38,
Yeah.
37 years ago that it would gone up that much. But, we needed a place to live. We were renting and we had looked and we said, hey, but when I bought it, I didn't think I was going to live that long in the same house.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I think some ways I think we have lost perspective or we lose focus of why we truly buy a home.
Are you having a lot of do you try to convey that message to the agents and help them, understand that not only themselves, but, still to have the conversation with buyers that they're working with?
Oh, definitely, because they have to understand that, hey, it's a process. I mean, this past weekend, we had a party at our house with all of our agents, and, there was about 175 people that came through at the party. It was I mean, people were standing in front of the house, but it was just kind of a fun thing. And then for them to see that, hey, Jack's lived at the same house 38 years, that it's a
Yeah.
process in the whole thing. And I think we have got to, our agents communicate that, hey, you buy a home because you want to live, and it's a process. And some people get lucky and it goes up in value, and some people it doesn't go up
Yeah.
as much.
Yeah. Yeah. And being able to witness that and see that. And no, that's cool. And, I think, and I would love your take on this, and you do such a wonderful job with this. And part of one of the reasons you guys are like a magnet for agents wanting to be a part of something, man, I really feel people are starving for community,
Right.
part of
Yeah.
being at something. And how much are you guys seeing that within your organization right now?
Yeah. I mean, we started our thing some 6 years ago, and now we have, over 200 agents. And I think, John, that's what we have done a good job over the years saying, hey, we're in this thing together. One of the things that I think has helped us is we're on, the thing called Slack, and people are always saying, hey, can someone show a home, from 6 to 7 tonight? I can't make it. And our agents are always willing to help people. And I think people are, because of that, we've done very well. It's all about helping each other, and that's the thing that I love. When people join our team, I say, hey, this is really a team where you really help each other and go that extra mile for each other. And because of that, people do that for other people on the team, and then it goes very well. And if your business model is, hey, what can you do for the people on your team, you're going to go well. And then our team, hey, we're all, they're just between the rock stars and the brand new agents we treat them all the same.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's the thing. We tell our rock star agents, hey, man, you were once a new agent. Help these people out. They're on your team. They're not against you. They're on your team.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite concepts. I think it was Frank Shamrock had in his MMA studio, right? When you came in, it was the plus, minus, and equal. And he said,
Right.
you can't be here unless you have a mentor, somebody that's mentoring
Right.
you're looking up to. You
Right.
can't be here unless you're mentoring somebody. And you need to find an accountability partner that, is right there with you, that's pushing you each and every day. And to me, that's the secret sauce and coming in with that mentality that, like, listen, like, I got to find somebody to pour into, and really having that givers and teaching mentality.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I hate to say it, I think, in real estate, we get in it because we want freedom, flexibility, and money. And I think sometimes you can lose focus of that. But I think it starts, to me, it starts at the top. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like, if somebody needs open house signs and they're 20 minutes away, like, I'm going to go out of my way to help them, because if we help each other, people do well. People rise up and close more deals and get more excited about real estate. I mean, I was talking to one of our agents this morning. They said, like, how was your weekend? What, like, I said, man, I look forward to Mondays. I look forward to going to work. Like, to me, the worst part about the weekends is
Not getting to see everybody.
see everybody. And you're like, Jack, like, that's just weird. I, I love seeing the people on our team. And I think that's why it's contagious.
It is. It really is. And being out there. I mean, this is even before the new office, and just being able to see that type of dynamic that really trying to instill into everybody that, like, nobody's above, nobody's below. Like,
Right.
it's all of us in this together. And you said something earlier and it kind of made me think. And I think it was Layla Hermosi. I think she was asked the question of, where do you, when things go off the rails, what do how do you handle the highs and lows? And she goes, I try to get back to baseline as fast as I can.
Right.
And, if we get shot up in something, we get real high, get back to baseline. If we're real low, just get back to baseline. And that's where you can stay that, consistent, kind of even kill, staying grounded in what it is we're trying to do, and not let things throw you too far off of
Right.
that baseline.
Right. Yeah. And I get to, I work with both of my kids, both of my boys, and that is a wonderful thing, but it's also a very hard thing, because as family, you can be a little bit more honest with each other, and I think it's almost like too honest sometimes. But I think the ability to work together and to know that, hey, we're in this thing together, but man, you're going to have those days that are really hard and things seem like what's going on, but you just kind of, like you were saying, you just get back on and just, like, man, you got to make it happen.
Jack, what is the biggest thing, 6+ years of the team working with Michael and Johnny, how, like, what's been the biggest growth thing that you've learned within that dynamic, right? Working with the boys, being able to continue to grow and evolve. I mean, just even, seeing them in the beginning to even where they're at now, right? And just the growth, and, what's been the biggest change, I think, for you in that, dynamic with the kids?
I think the biggest thing for me, and I always knew it, but I think it's more obvious the older they get and the more that and more our team grows. I've just learned the more I can move out of the way, the better it goes. And some days that's hard to admit, to thinking, man, we got great people in leadership in exec positions. And the more I get out of the way, it goes better. And, sometimes it's hard because, we started the thing together and there was just three of us. And now between agents and staff, it's, well over 200 people. So, sometimes it's hard, but I've just learned that, man, the more I can move out of the way, that it goes better. And our team does well, not because of me or because of one person. It is built around a team of people. And, I think is letting the ego get out of the way.
Yeah.
Is, I think it's hard in a lot of leaders, because it's not, we call ourselves the Perry Group, and, it's my last name, but it's kind of like, when I introduce myself, I never put my last name in it. I always say, hey, I'm Jack. And people have found out, hey, that, it was one of the Perrys, and they're like, I had no idea. I don't tell people who I am. I just say, hey, I'm Jack. I've been an agent on the team for 6 years. And they're like, what part do you play? And they're kind of like, they're dumbfounded when they find out that who they were talking to, but I think it goes better that way. And like I said, the the more I move out of the way, the better it goes. And it's hard, but
Yeah.
just it just goes better.
Yeah, it does. And I love what you said, right? A lot of the agents, they struggle with that ego and that they've
Right.
got to be at the forefront. They feel like they've got to be making the decisions. And when you can empower, the people around you and kind of co-author into, what it is we're trying to do, they take that ownership, they take more pride in what the brand is. That was one of the biggest things that I saw, is just really a lot of that co-authorship into what we're trying to accomplish. And some days are tougher than others, and some days we don't see eye to eye. But at the end of the day, that's why the outcome over ego is one of my favorite concepts, because it's just like, man, we're just trying to get to the goal. We're just trying to be right, and nobody here is trying to be right. When you can adopt that type of buy-in, it really helps things navigate a lot faster, even through the bumpy, turbulent times. Is it grounded, Jack? I mean, I think for you, is it obviously you lead such a humble leader, such a humble servant to the organization and to the team. Is there, core values? Are there things, there's mantras, there's things that we're kind of grounded in, that everybody sees and knows, reminded of, to live by, to make better decisions for you guys to be able to have the growth that you guys have had?
I mean, we don't have like words on the wall that says, be us, go the extra mile. We don't have any of that. People wouldn't, if they just walked in off the street, they wouldn't realize. But I think the thing is, John, is we live that type of lifestyle, and because of that, it's it's like we don't talk about it at team meeting at all. It's just what we do, and I
Yeah.
think that's what makes the difference. Because I think sometimes you have it on walls, and it's like you have to remind yourself. We're not reminding ourselves. It's just how we are and how we do real estate on our team. I mean, I was with different brokers before, and man, it's lonely, as a real estate agent, a solo agent. But I would say the agents on our team, they're loving it. I mean, we got some people that have been here 6, 7 years. There's no intention of them leaving
Right.
because they really love the team concept. And we've all heard it together. Everyone accomplishes more. Everyone accomplishes more the more that we're together. And I think that's they see it. It's not, we don't have to say it. They see it.
Do you do you expose them to that and kind of try to flush it out of them in the beginning before you let them into, being officially a part of the group? Is there a vetting process on the front end? How do you not let, one of those bad apples into what you've built?
I think we've had people come, bad apples, be a part, but I don't think they last because they see that that's not the core of this group. I mean,
Yeah.
um, and it's just different as you get in it, and then the people, and I mean, I think to allow agents and team members to rise up to their potential. And I think it's like, if you have an ego on our team, it would be my goal to end that ego.
Yeah.
Just like we're about each other, and I think people catch it pretty quick, just because of everything we do, and it's not about one agent or one team lead or one good communicator. It's about everyone. I think that's, people see it. It's like so yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I think, you have such a nucleus and a core when we were half the size, right? Even maybe even a little bit smaller, that really gelled together. And it's like you said, like, it's, you feel uncomfortable if you're not in alignment to the organization. You feel it real quick, and those people will tend to select themselves out faster. Is for you guys, is it a lot of internal growth of like, hey, they have a friend or somebody getting into the business and they bring them into the organization, like, hey, if you're getting your life, you have to work here with us? Is it more of we've built something that people are proud of that they go get other people to be a part of?
Definitely, that's
Yeah.
is the main thing. So people that, but we're starting to get people now just because the name is out, and we just keep on growing. But no, it's definitely like this morning at team meeting, I said, hey, if you have friends or coworkers or somebody who wants to be a part of a team, please communicate to them because we would love to have them a part. And I think because of that, they buy into it more. That hey, it's people defend the people on our team defend our team.
Yeah.
They're like, hey man, they're the best defenders of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, they do. I mean, you've built such of a tribe that they won't allow. They police themselves. They police each other. So
Right.
it's remarkable to be able to be at that size with that type of culture, and it's taking time, right? You just
Right.
being
Oh
consistent
yeah.
and being able to build it. What are you know, kind of the biggest challenge that you're starting to see moving into the second half of this year?
I think it's I think knowing that man, the second half of this year is not going to. I think a year ago, all of us thought that it was going to be easier by now. We
Mhm.
thought interest rates were going to come down. Stuff around the world kind of like a lot more peaceful. So I think I see the agents are tired and weary and kind of like are been taking hits. So my thing is, man, I got to be more like encouraging, more positive, more for them now because they're facing those inner battles, which a year ago we no one thought that. I mean, maybe some people, but most of us thought after the election that 2025 was going to be a great year. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking like it is my thing is, man, Jack, they need you to encourage them, to be behind them, to to really say, hey man, we can make this. Because if you don't, they get discouraged and they don't want to last.
Yeah. How are you getting that message out? I mean, it's hard. I mean, obviously, if you see them in passing the one-on-one, but there's got to be a lot of one-to-many at your size.
Yeah, I think I just, call them on the phone. I am big on texting. Like if we have, like if at team meeting, I will, I mean, like this party that we had at our house the other night, I text 210 agents and encouraged them to come. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a spam. It wasn't like a robot. It was Jack sending a personal text out to over 200 people. And I think people know that, hey man, Jack believes in this thing. Jack's going to go way overboard to make you feel a part. And because of that, they're more motivated because it's let's just be honest, John. I think it's a hard time. And
Mhm.
so if we as leaders aren't constantly encouraging our people that, man, we got their back, we're there to help them, they get tired.
Yeah. They in I love I think you're spot on, right? Statistically, all of the things coming out of election, year after election, home sales climb. We're
Right,
like, geez, the lowest amount of home sales in the last 30 years. Of course it has to be better.
right,
And it just really hasn't been the case. And so it's the whole thing, right? Like you can kind of red line it for
right,
90 days. Anybody can do anything for 90 days.
right,
You can push it for 2 quarters, right? You can push it for 6 months. But
right.
now you're getting into 9 months of this,
Yeah,
12 months of this.
right,
People just get tired.
right.
And and so I think you're spot on with the knowing that you're here, you're supporting them. Are you thinking about, is there anything else that you guys are looking to do, to create, to provide that support moving into the second half of this year?
I mean, we really believe, hands on and really trying to help them. I mean, we have a very growth minded concept. I mean, it's like, I mean, when we interview people or talk to people about joining our team, I said, if you're comfortable doing 5, 7, 10 deals a year, we might not be a good fit for you because like you're going to cause me great stress if you only want to do 7 deals a year. Like, come on, like why only 7? I mean, it's like let's get serious about this thing. And so
Yeah.
I think with that mentality, it's contagious to everyone. People are like, man, if I'm going to be on the Perry Group, they want me to do a bunch of
Yeah.
deals, and if I don't want to do them, then why go through it? I mean, I tell people the biggest I lose most of my sleep on the people that are comfortable.
Yeah.
The people that are just okay, this is great, this is good, are more important about their golf game is more important than the real than
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Like those are the people that cause me the stress. I don't. Our rock stars that are doing 25, 30, 35 deals. It's like, man, I'm here to cheer you on, but the stress in my life is caused by the people that are comfortable.
I love that because you can't help them solve problems. I mean,
No.
they're complacent and I'm with you. I have a hard time being around those type of people.
Right. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think you've created that culture. You better get in here and get after it.
Right.
And
I mean, I'll get on social media and see that somebody's playing golf, and I'll next time I see them or I call them on the phone, man, like, how's the real estate going? They'll go, oh, it's going so good. I said, looks like your golf game's really going good. And I think that's what I like about the social media is people expose themselves more than they realize. I mean, I'll call our team and say, man, we missed you at the office, but how was the golf course?
yeah, I remember, Jack, I remember sitting at a traffic and conversion conference in San Diego, and I can't remember when this was. It might have been 2015, 2016 timeframe, and Damon John was on stage.
Uh-huh.
And they were having a conversation with him, and he goes, listen, I don't look at anything but your social media profile. And if you tell me that you work 9 to 5 and I see you're on social media heavily from 9 to 5, I'm not hiring you.
Right.
And it really, right at that point, I was like, holy smokes, the new resume is your social media and your social media content.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think social media, I mean, I love it. I think I communicate with it to our agents on it. And I think, I mean, I'm really thankful for social media because I'll send something that I see that somebody else did and I'll send it. I was like, man, you got to watch this. And,
yeah,
I think social media is the thing.
Yeah. And I mean, you're crushing it always. I mean, you talk about like, put a smile on people's face, get people like in an upbeat mood. Like your social media is that, right? Like every time I see, I just stop and it puts a smile on my face. Right. And it's just really, I'm like, man, yeah, Jack's.
But the interesting part, John, is it doesn't help you to sell homes. It just makes it kind of, people look at it like, man, that's kind of like, this is kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, but for you, it is that positive energy, kind of the thing that you're talking about with the team, right? When they need that light in challenging, difficult times, especially for agents that haven't had the opportunity to ride through a really tough and challenging market. Right. They need to be in that environment, that tribe that has the positivity that's going to push them, right? But in a positive way in that direction. And it really is super, super important to have that element into, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
Right. Like one of my social media posts in the probably week or 2 weeks is about, social anxiety and like, are you introvert and everything like that? And like, I'm like with our agents on our team, I'm an extrovert. Like I'm like talking to them all. But when I go home, I'm a 100% introvert, or it's like everywhere I go, I'm that. But like with our team, it's like that I'm like, man, let's do this together. And I think understanding our different roles and how we are, our makeup and our, personalities, I think is one thing. Because, my 2 kids, it's like we're all different personalities.
Yeah.
I think that's is learning to work together with people and understand, that hey, that Jack at the office, I will talk to everyone. I'll be like, "Hey, how are you doing? What's going on?" and everything. But like I said, I go home. It's like I'm a not a I don't want to say different person, but like I'm very like if I walk around the block, I'm hoping that I don't see anybody. It's
Same.
not that I don't like people. It's just that
Yeah.
I'm, I heard, years ago, I heard that, men only have like 15,000 words, women have more, I use them all at the office and
Ain't
it's,
got no more to spare after
yeah.
that.
But I think with social media and everything we can do is just, man, we gotta, if you're running a team, man, to me, I'm 100% behind our agents. I will bend over backwards to make their business a success on our
Yeah.
team.
Where are you having agents pay attention to? And this kind of goes back to the question, who's a real buyer, who's a real seller in today's market? When you got in, time frame, it was a different opportunity in the market at that time. Where is the opportunity, moving into the second half of this year, with the buyers and sellers in the marketplace that you're seeing?
Right. I think the key thing that I tell our agents is, man, like ask the why questions. Like what's going on? Why do you want to move? Like, or what's your hesitation? I think we as agents do not ask the why questions. Like, hey, what's going on? We think, somebody says to us, hey, I want a three bedroom, two bath, and a 2 car garage, and then we show them homes that have 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, and a 2 car garage, and they don't make an offer, and we go like, why aren't you making an offer? It's got a front door, it's got a windows and everything like that. And I think that we as agents, when people say they want to go house hunting, we just think they just want to, they're going to buy the very first home they see. And I tell our agents, hey, my wife and I, the house that we bought in '88 and still live in, it took us 2 years to find. So it is a process with it. And I think people need to understand that, man, you just got, some people go really quick. Some people go really slow. I've taken people out and, I remember a couple of years ago, second house we saw, they said, we're done. We're looking at homes. I said, what do you mean? They said, we want to make an offer. And so I think people just, some people go fast, some people go slow, and you got to ask the why questions. I think if you ask the what, like, why do you want to buy? You're going to get that answer. But I think we as agents, when they make it seem like, oh, they think they say they want to buy a home, we think they want to do it this weekend. All they're saying, hey, I want to do it sometime in the future.
Yeah. And that's such a great point, getting down to what's the real objective, what's the real goal, like what's really important to you, like in being able to, I think the thing that I always found with that, Jack, is, as they go through the process, because it can be a little challenging, especially if they haven't done it enough.
Right.
And they just don't know what they don't know. I think our job too is also to remind them, like, now remember, we talked about this. You told me your goal was this, and this is why this was important to you. Has that changed? If it's changed, that's great. We just need to know that so we can be on the same page, so I can help you. And I'm with you. I think a lot of agents never have been taught that, or if they did, they need to relearn it to get back into, to really dive in deep into that question of what's the real motivation, what's really the thing that's most important, what are the non-negotiables, things that are really, really important to them.
Right. And I think, Tom Ferry said, hey, the average 100 people, 6 of them are going to move within the coming year. I think just to have, man, there's people all around you that are going to be, buying and selling it. And I just think, you just got to, but I think that's the mistake that we make, John. We think that you go into real estate and you're going to sell tons of homes, and you hear somebody say, hey, I sold 80 homes in my first year of real estate, and it's like, did you really sell 80 homes? Or like we sold as a team last year 1,133 homes, and that's exactly how we didn't sell any more, or we didn't sell any less. I'm not don't inflate your numbers, because I think it gets discouraging with people. I mean, like when we interview people to join our team, I was like, I'll say, man, what's been your last few years? And they're kind of like, I say, man, tell me exactly what you've done. If you've done 10, say 10. If you did two, tell me two.
Me
I can
too.
help you. But if you're
Yeah.
not, if you're, not being honest and just say, man, you're like, you're struggling or this isn't going well. I think
Mm,
it's really hard to help each other. And so
mm.
I tell our agents, man, it's real estate agent, being a real estate agent is a lot of hard work. It's like a roller coaster. You will have your up, down, good years, bad years. But the key thing is, man, you got to stay in it and you got to take it serious. I mean, I got into real estate when I was 52. Like, I was a pastor for 28 years and then I got into real estate. I didn't have any other options. It was like thinking, hey, I got to make real estate work. And because of that, I gave it everything I have. I think sometimes when you have other options, I don't know if it goes as good. I think it's
Yeah.
like if you can go to plan B, to me, it's plan A. I got one plan. It's real estate the rest of my life. And that's what's going to happen.
I always laugh when I tell your story to people, and I'm like Jack, this is the easiest thing Jack's ever done, and
Oh,
they laugh, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, he built multiple congregations over 28 years in the church. Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, this is the easiest thing he's ever done.
yeah, yeah. No, and that's the thing. I've always liked the thought of helping people after being a pastor for 28 years and giving everything I had and now real estate. I think it's all about people. And
Yeah,
I think we lose focus of that. We think about the commission or man, is it worth it financially? And I mean,
yeah,
John, I'll be honest. There was some Sundays at church we took an offering, and it was like We wanted to pass the buckets again because it wasn't going well. But it's just you hang in there, and I think as real estate man, you're going to have those rough times, and you just got to endure to the end. And I think that's the thing that I've learned. I'm glad that being a pastor for 28 years, I loved it. And now with real estate and building our team and everything we're doing, you got to love what you do.
yeah.
I'm I tell people, man, if you don't love real estate and you want to go do something else, man,
Go do it.
please get out of it. It's not worth it.
Yeah,
You got to love it.
yeah, yeah. Those 28 years set you up for what you're doing. You're right where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing. It is it really is awesome. So, Jack, looking into the future, I mean, you and I've had this conversation and we're starting to, I mean, obviously you're an example, right? And the reason I think it is one of the trends is obviously the bigger are getting bigger. And I think because what it is, you've created such a community, such a tribe, and people are starving for that connection. And they really want to be around those people. For those agents that like, where are you kind of seeing the direction? I mean, I think it's harder and harder for individual agents.
Yes.
And so where are you kind of seeing the direction as we're in this washout of agents that aren't built or don't want to be built for this market conditions moving forward? Kind of where are you seeing the trends in the industry, kind of the direction?
I think the hard part is, being a solo agent is really extremely difficult. And there's a lot of talk about joining, hey, join a team. It will be great. But John, I'll be honest with you. I have probably my biggest, the hurt that I feel is people would join teams and they they get out of the people that join teams that aren't good end up getting out of real estate completely because it's maybe not a team or not run well or so much drama on the team. I mean, that's the thing that hurts me more than anything now is people would join teams and then they'll contact us and go, man, I had no idea. They thought all teams were the same.
Right.
They had no idea that the Perry group was so much different. And I think that's my biggest thing. I think as team leads, man, we gotta treat the people that we work with under with great respect and that they're committing to be on our teams. And we got to make it fair all the way around. And I think that's what our team constantly tries to do in everything we do. The decision, let's make it. It's not, I mean, man, being a team leader is great. And but man, it's about the people on your team. I don't do it for the money. I'm not in this thing. I do it to help people change their lives and have a career, have a business in it. And that's my thing. It's got to be about them, not the team lead.
Yeah. What have you seen kind of the evolution for you guys, especially, 200 plus and continuing to grow? Like where are you starting to see, the complexity, the levels of leadership? Like how do we, still see that dynamic? I mean, yeah, you can text 200 people to come to an invite. It's hard to do 200 texts, every day, right? Keep an eye on everybody.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's that, the levels of leadership and, continuing to grow people and grow people and grow people.
Right.
What are you kind of seeing kind of that evolution, with the business moving forward?
Yeah, and maybe I mean, it's a good question. Well, we have our different offices. They'll have different, like we have a team meeting on Monday, then here in Salt Lake Tuesday, and then our Utah County is on Friday. And I go to all those meetings. I'll be like, hey, I'm the first one there in the morning and, one of the last ones to leave. Like, I feel like that is my responsibility and role is to like talk to them all. Like, man, how's it going? What's going on? And I, as the leader, I was one of the leaders. I feel like I love that part, and I feel like that's my role because if I can tell if someone's not maybe I asked them how your day's going, and they go, it's great, and I was like, man, is it really going great? I mean, I see, I know you have nothing under contract. How good is it really going? And so they'll say it's going great. I'll say, man, that's exciting. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
And then they start telling you about it. And you go, oh, I don't know how great it is. And so I've just, I don't know if it's from experience or age in life. It's like, man, you tell me you're doing good. I want to hear why you're doing it. I'm just not going to be like, oh, great. Next question. I'll be like, so John, tell me how you're doing good. Tell me all about it. And they'll be like, I said, I got all the time in the world. And they'll start talking and they'll be like, oh.
Yeah, you pick up on it. You hear it.
And I'm not, I mean, I can, like I said, I can, ask those tough questions. And that's probably the role that I am in now that, most of the people, very few people on our team would not be my kids or my grandkids.
Yeah.
And so it's like they're all like, and I love that part. And I think they love it too, because like Jack can be like, man, like tell me about your family, tell me about your kids. How's your, I mean, I have a woman on our team that's, her dad's has cancer, is dying. I've been there. I can relate to that. And I can say, man, how's it going? Take as much time off as you want. And they'll be like, gosh, Jack, thanks. And I think that's the thing.
It's authentic. It's just, it's authentic empathy, right? It's really being, empathetic to the situation, being able to put yourself in their shoes. And I think that carries over as well as an agent and, being able to put yourself in the buyers and sellers shoes of, it's stressful for them, especially if they've never done it or they've only, transacted one or two times. I mean, it's a big deal and it consumes them. And I think a lot of agents overlook that because they're juggling multiple, they're trying to do so much. That's why I believe, you got to be on a great team that has great leadership and great support to be able to provide that for you. As far as, when the size that you guys are at and the connectiveness that you're at, obviously head of company, how involved are you in, what decisions do you make or what decisions kind of get carried out throughout the organization? They have their own kind of, guidelines to operate within, making the right decisions. I mean, but from a day to day, how involved are you in the decision-making process?
I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm a lot, and sometimes I'm thinking I'm not involved very much because I was like, when did they make that decision? And our thing is, we have our executive meetings every week, and it's kind of like, if you're not there, we're still going to make decisions and move on without you. And because of family and travel and everything like that, I have missed some of those. And I think I've just learned that, man, we got great people in place. I would say probably very exciting, very sad thing. Like if I went away for 3 or 4 months, it would be like the ship would just keep on moving. And I think that is very exciting to know that it's going to, but then, man, sometimes it's like, man, it's kind of
you would miss it.
And people, we got great leaders, great agents. But I think that the key thing is we're constantly trying to be better. Like we're not good at being comfortable. And we have 5 offices now, and it's like, man, I'd love to have 7 by the end of the year. And you go, our leadership, but like, Jack, what are you talking about? You're like, I'm just not good at being comfortable. It's like, let's
push them. You're that North Star for them. You keep them from being complacent, but also I think it's the competitiveness with the boys as well.
Yeah.
And they've attracted other competitive people that are not complacent, that are willing to put in the work, willing to push each other.
Yeah. And I think that's the fun part about it is that, but I've seen it where people get complacent and they lose focus of it. But I think the thing, like I said earlier, I think the thing we've missed in real estate, we become about like, hey, the commission, that what type of houses, cars we can buy and have as agents. But I'm telling you, in the bottom line, when I go to bed at night, man, it's like I have helped our agents to become better, and they have helped people become better. And I think that's the thing that I hope that our team never lose focus of, because we sold our 1,100 homes last year. It's not the homes, it's the people.
Yeah.
We helped out 1,100 people in some way or another. And I think that's the thing that we're always trying to encourage. It's about people. It's great to get that commission, great to get that paycheck. But man, when you go to bed tonight,
the lives have changed, the impact you had.
It's about people.
And it's also, thinking about the agents that you've helped and the agents that aren't even a part of the Perry Group yet, and that you were able to help them through the transaction, and even the people that you had a conversation with that I'm sure you impacted them, in a positive way, that maybe didn't transact with you or haven't come on board yet. So that number is way much bigger than, the 1,100 closed, the impact that we were able to have. And also, the giving back and the things that you guys are able to do within the community. It's pretty special what you guys are doing.
Yeah. And, John, we've had people leave our team and everything like that. It hasn't all been glorious, wonderful. But even the people that have left our team, I will still text them and, man, ask them how things are going and everything like that. And, man, I always look at it, man, they played a part in who we are today. For different reasons, it didn't work out. But, man, they played a part, and, they had a place in history with the Perry Group. And I think that's the key thing is, man, even the ones that have left our team, it's they played a part.
Yeah, so cool. Jack, you're amazing. Always love being able to catch up with you and connect, and you definitely inspire me, and that light that you bring to everything that you do. And so I appreciate you and appreciate what you're doing, and excited for kind of this next chapter as granddad moving into the future.
Yes.
So it's cool.
So no, thanks, John. It's always great catching up with you and doing this podcast and everything. I appreciate it.
We'll do it again.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Jack. See you.
Thanks,
guys. Bye.
See you. Bye.